What's up, everyone? Welcome back to 7th Street. I'm your host, Hamza, and across from me I have my co-host,
Clark. Here he is, me.
And next to me I have the multi-talented and lovely
Jerusa Nyakundi.
Here she is. Jerusa's here in the house. Welcome. Thank you for coming on, Jerusa. Really appreciate it.
I'm excited.
And just before we get into, the bulk of the episode, I want to pose a question to you guys. Have you guys ever dealt with a sociopath before?
Yeah. Yes.
So literally yesterday, we were out with some friends, and one of the people who we all don't really know very well came out with us. And I won't obviously say his name, but he was like very, very like bigoted, like very like he wanted everyone to know that like he was there. He was downplaying the negatives of like what he was saying, and he was upplaying like his interactions with people. Like everyone was like fucking with him and all this stuff. And it was really weird. And after the fact, I was thinking like, damn, this dude like is definitely just like a sociopath, or like he has some issues wrong with him. Because afterwards I was calling him out and I was like, dude, like you were just being super whack, just like admit it and apologize. And he was basically just like eating that up. Like he was like laughing about it, like trying to like fuck with me even more upon saying that. So I'm wondering, like, have you guys dealt with sociopaths, or like have you ever like successfully manipulated one, or like anything like that? Because that's such an interesting part of psychology that I don't understand.
There's a lot of young women I've come across that are really good manipulators.
Right.
Borderline sociopathic.
Right.
And it's funny because I like to kind of fuck around with people sometimes just to see like
What
what's
happens?
their tipping point.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with a sociopath, when you manipulate the manipulator, they freak out because it's like a power thing. It's like an attention
They care
thing.
about hiding.
So I just like to see how they react.
Yeah, right. And it was crazy because this dude, like, everything that you said, it was like an instant like bounce back to you. Like it was an instant blame on something external to himself.
Like what? Give me like, Clark, I don't like your attitude today.
And be like, like people from Minnesota are so judgmental. Like of course they care about like people's attitudes and shit like that. No, you wouldn't know him.
All right.
But he's like from a small town in Wisconsin, and like
Some yeehaw type shit, huh?
some yeehaw. And I mean
Some,
like
my dad will sue your dad type shit.
and he was also like extremely, extremely drunk. But that's the thing, like when people get like that, their true colors actually come out. It was weird. And the thing I've heard about sociopaths is like you can deal with them through silence. So if you don't give them back to you what they're trying to throw at you,
they're feeding upon
exactly. So they won't have anything to reach out and grab onto, and they just kind of fall and implode on themselves. So, but I've seen some crazy YouTube videos online where it's like a sociopathic mom, or like a narcissistic mom, and it's like the kid filming it, and like you just feel horrible because you know that this kid had to deal with this parent for obviously their entire life.
Yeah.
And now they're just starting to realize that, oh, like it's not my fault, it's my mom's or whatever. So like I don't know, that was just like kind of what I've been thinking about lately, but we don't have to talk about that the whole time. I just think it's interesting.
The best way to deal with them is to not, give them the means to, respond to you.
Exactly, yeah.
So like, let's say, I'm gonna move closer to me. Let's say like you're a sociopath and you're just like narcissistic, self-indulgent, like hedonist almost. I just like wouldn't, like you would do some shit, I'd be like, okay, like, oh, okay.
Right.
And then like, they'd be like, that doesn't like bother you? Like, it's like someone who's trying to know you. Like, you have to just like not give them any attention, and then, but I will say that's like a selective thing. Like, that won't work for all of them,
Right.
Some of them might go even further.
Right.
To make you, because everyone has that tip, like, you can only ignore someone for so much, So like, at a certain point, even if you're ignoring them, they're gonna do something that's gonna piss you off or something like that. And then,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
It's weird, dude. And the thing is, like, though, like, sociopathy, psychopathy, whatever it's called.
Yep.
It's like such a, because it's like it's even on a higher level than like someone just being like a dickhead.
Yep.
Like it's actually something like physically wrong with the brain. So it's like it's all another can of worms. But I don't know. It's wild.
All right. So
But yeah,
back to the
Jerusa.
guest. Yeah, tell us about yourself.
What's up?
Tell us about yourself.
So I am a photographer, local photographer, just graduated from the U.
And
Yup.
a degree in
A degree, a BS in psychology, which I do not
dope,
use.
dope.
I just got an internship at Complex. So I've been there for 2 months.
That's
In New
dope.
York. Social media intern.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard there's a big event coming up.
ComplexCon. So I'll be covering ComplexCon with a couple other interns. It was like hand selected. I'm pretty sure they picked me because I do social media. So yeah, I got free tickets, but I still have to get my ticket out there to like fly and stuff. But I have friends I'm staying with. I'm really excited.
That's dope.
And when is ComplexCon if anyone wants to go?
It is July 20th and 21st in
Okay.
Chicago.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool because my parents recently moved to Chicago, so I've been seeing all these ads and stuff, and I was about to possibly go, but I'm not going till like August or something again to visit them. So
Oh, okay.
that would be dope though, because that seems like super sick. So what is ComplexCon? What is Complex? And then like what is the convention like?
ComplexCon, Complex is a media company dedicated to spreading news about the culture and awareness and just everything that has to do with the culture, right?
Right.
So moving on to ComplexCon, it's literally like the epitome of that visualized in a space. So we have like artists coming in, we have complex conversations like Tiana Taylor and like Yara Shahid, she's coming in
Dope.
to just talk about their lives and stuff. We have people selling clothing lines like Joe Fresh Goods. He's actually having a party Thursday
Are you gonna
night.
go?
Oh, yeah, I'm on the list.
Do you have,
I'm
do you have a
definitely
plus one?
going.
She exclusive.
Do you have a plus one?
You have a
I'm
plus
already
two?
taking- It's funny, yeah. No, I got like 3 of my friends' tickets,
Nice.
put them on the list. So like,
Oh, so it's too late.
we're plotting. No, come through.
Oh,
Get a ticket.
How much are tickets?
Yeah, well, how much?
A 2-day pass is $180.
Wait,
Which
is this
isn't
ComplexCon or Joe Fresh Go?
This is ComplexCon.
It's
It's
gonna-
talking about the party.
The party's
Oh,
gonna.
the party's free. You just have to be on the
Oh.
list.
Can you get me on the list? Or is it-
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
What day?
Let's slide over, dude.
July 19th. 7 o'clock.
That'd actually be fun to
What's
go.
up with it?
That'd
Yeah, we can crash at your parents.
Bro, I'm not even kidding. We could.
Yeah, I know.
Why not?
All right, bet. We'll see.
Bet.
We'll see. All right, cool. Well, that's dope. So Complex. So, are you running into like big names, like other people that you like run into that you interact with on a daily basis? Are you like
So-
tweeting at like Ty Dolla $ign or something?
So the first week, I met 21 Savage. He came into the office.
Whoa.
I met.
How is he? Is he recovering?
He's just like he is when he talks. Like he's high.
He's quiet.
He's really like quiet and he's high. Like you can tell.
I really fuck with 21 Savage.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's gone past, like, the, flex and shit, like, all that stuff. He's
Yeah.
moved towards, like, helping the community. Like, he does financial literacy stuff, like, in his
Yep.
area, trying to help people, like, not be stupid.
You know,
with
he's
it.
on
yeah,
his
like,
Nipsey Hussle
yeah,
type.
he's doing some
Right.
Nipsey Hussle type shit. Yeah,
And
Marathon
he
continues.
and I'm pretty sure he got rid of all his jewelry, didn't he? Or he
He
was
did.
like,
He just doesn't
He
wear
I'm
it.
not gonna buy it anymore or
did,
something. Yeah. So he's on the right path, bro.
Yeah.
It just sucks that he had to deal with all the ice stuff.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
bruv.
That's your bro. I swear. That's
That's
cool.
the most random shit ever.
I know, and it literally died in like a week.
Yeah.
So, but glad he's good. So he's a cool guy. Have you met anyone else at Complex?
Davies, but I mean he's always in New York.
Okay, yeah. Dope.
Joe Budden. He's
Crazy.
oh my god.
So hating ass.
He's loud. He's so loud. Like
I
you know
believe it.
he's in the office.
That's how he
about
stays
it.
relevant.
Huh?
That's how he stays relevant.
Anyways, yeah, no, that's it. That's all I
Crazy.
like met
So
What's more than me?
so far.
how'd you get the internship? You just like applied or
I
they, like,
saw the internship like had happened a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
and then I waited literally a whole year, and then it popped up on my LinkedIn. So literally, I put my resume together and everything. The next day, I submitted. That was
Yep.
and the
it.
next day she
Nice.
was like, "Yeah, we want you."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
qualified interviewee. Dope. That's very cool. Well, congrats on
Yeah,
that.
congratulations.
you.
When did you start that? Pretty recently.
I started clocked in June 10th.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got there June 8th.
Paid?
Is your
Yeah.
housing paid for?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually staying with my cousin.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Brooklyn.
that's nice.
Well, that's a good move at least.
Oh yeah.
Is it tough living in New York?
Oh my God, yeah.
So where are you from originally?
So I was born in Kenya, and then I came to the U.S. when I was 4, and then I live in Crystal, like Brooklyn Park area.
Okay, yeah.
What high school did you go to? Brooklyn?
I went to Cooper.
Cooper. Oh, word.
The hood.
Dope. And so it's probably a big change, like moving up to New York, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean even Minneapolis is like not even 1/4 of New York.
Yeah, very, very scaled down. Gotcha. Yeah, I've heard it's tough, like making that transition, especially just like the cost of living there is so high.
Yeah, if I wasn't staying with my cousin, it would be just really tough because finding a place is like a full-time job.
Right, I believe
really
that.
is.
And that rent, my sister, she has her apartment's nice. Actually, it's pretty nice. But like the amount she's paying, she has roommates. She could probably like get a nice ass condo for just herself here.
Right,
But
exactly.
she's doing some cool stuff there.
Exactly. Yeah, dude, it's worth it because like I think you're in that area. Like being in that area, there's so many more opportunities available to you.
Yeah.
Like that's why people go to LA because like everyone just like lives there.
Oh
So
yeah.
A lot of it because like people are like, oh, like it's my big break, like it's my lucky break, but at the same time you're also like you have to be strategic about it. You have to get to the places where like more lucky breaks happen because you have more opportunity, more
Right.
networking opportunities and all that stuff. So that's dope. That's awesome. Glad to hear about it.
So, switching topics.
Absolutely.
What got you into photography?
And so plug some of your photography stuff real quick so people can check you
Okay,
out.
yeah, no. My website is my full name, so Jerusa Nyakundi, JerusaNyakundi.com. Same with all my social links, Instagram, Twitter. Don't add me on Facebook, but I do have a Facebook page. Yeah, that's all the
Word.
stuff I have.
Dope.
Oh, and Tumblr too. I use Tumblr
Hell yeah.
quite frequently.
Visco?
Visco, kind of not really. I just put selfies on there, honestly.
Yeah.
Dope.
I have a Visco too, but I barely use it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so run us through your photography history.
So I was
career.
always interested in art. So like I used to draw, I used to paint, I used to do like pottery, like anything you can think of. And then I kind of got out of that, and my sister gave me her Nikon when I was a freshman, sophomore in college, and then I kind of didn't pick up that camera for a little bit until, you know, my friends were like encouraging me to like, you know, take pictures or whatever. So I did a photo shoot with my friend Vanessa. Follow her, Nessa XOX, on Instagram. And we went out to the Como Observatory. I did that
dope.
photo shoot. And then shortly after I did like 5 other photo shoots, I came out with like an online portfolio. And then people were like, how much do you charge? I'm like, what?
Whoa.
You guys like this?
Yeah.
I'm just like living life, taking portraits.
Dope.
So shortly after that, after my portfolio came out, I started charging people, and the rest is history. Like,
There you go.
I haven't stopped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we looked at some of your stuff, like yesterday.
It goes crazy.
I've seen your
I
photography in the
saw it. I
past.
fuck with it a lot.
And
Thank you.
you know my friend TJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out TJ. What's it? TJ Worldwide's Instagram
Yeah,
handle.
yeah.
Cool guy.
Mr.
TJ
Worldwide,
Plaid.
Volume
He's
2.
dope. He's dope. I met him freshman year. We went to
Okay.
Washburn.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I know, so you use a lot of like, you were using like tarps, like people like under tarps and like cloth. Is that right? Or am I wrong? I just saw at least a few pictures with like people behind like sheets and like stuff draped over, kind of like for a little background.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
Yeah. The shoot I did with Cindy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that along with like other like urban landscapes and stuff like that. Very cool.
With your photography, do you expect the person themselves to come with some kind of vision in mind, or are you like, okay, this is what we're gonna do?
So when it comes to client stuff, I think I definitely ask them what they want unless they want me to come up with something. But if it's like anything on my Instagram or just like what I have on my main website, that's all just like what I want to do. Like my vision type thing.
Right. Okay, cool. Very cool. So do you see like a difference in like how, so you said you started taking pictures like freshman year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, and you just graduated recently?
Yeah.
So is there like a difference between like what people want like now compared to like maybe when you started? I know it's only a span of like 3-4 years.
So when I first started, it was just like solely portraits, and then I started doing more
Like LinkedIn portraits, or just like
portraits, like let's
Like,
go
I'm gonna
downtown
stunt.
and like let's
Oh, it's like some
shoot
on the
type.
spot type.
Yeah, or like let's go to Walker, like the Como Observatory, or
Right.
like uptown type of thing.
Right.
But then when I started doing more creative stuff, it was like let's do concepts, and then from
Oh.
concepts it turns into like campaigns. And then when I had my mentor and I reached out to him, he was like, you should do weddings, you should do events, you should
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
And then I got into that. And then it's like the more stuff you dabble in, the more people see like what you're putting out there, the content.
Yeah.
And then that's what they like hire you for, they look for. So it's solely based on like what I do, like what I put out.
So what are concepts and campaigns? Is that just like a name for a certain
Concepts
type of?
is like, let's go to the ice cream shop and like let's get some ice cream and like let's have this outfit and like shoot or whatever. Or I used to do work for this one online magazine, and they would give me like a theme for the month, and then I would shoot that concept,
Oh, dope.
like
Okay.
a cultural concept or
Yeah.
something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a Five Guys picture or something?
Yeah.
That made me want to go to Five. Bro, I went to Five Guys yesterday because I saw that picture.
Oh, that's why?
man.
That's one of the reasons. Also, it was open.
My influence.
That's influencing. That's influence right there. That's dope. Okay, very cool. So,
What kind of like programs do you use? You don't gotta like expose all of your repertoire, you know, just a little bit.
I use Lightroom and I use Photoshop. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
it. I used to, when I first started, I didn't even like I didn't know how to edit, so I just used VSCO. I would like put the pictures.
Cause they got
on-
hella filters on Visco. I don't blame you.
You
I
know
don't
what I'm
blame you.
saying?
Right.
And like it still turned out good.
Hey, Visco has a lot of filters though. Like they have a lot. I
is it
remember-
pretty good for editing photos? Like, were you doing that initially?
Oh yeah.
People were
Yeah.
like hitting you up from that then.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, dope.
I had a Visco. They had these 2 free filters to get, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get them. And then I accidentally like my finger pressed the wrong thing, and then I bought like $30 worth of filters
That's
by mistake,
trash.
and I couldn't like reverse it. So now I have a ton of filters.
Didn't you buy like $100 off of like a app or something too? Okay, maybe that was someone else. But like, there's people who like accidentally click like on like Clash of Clans or something. They
That's
buy
why I
like
would never
$100 worth of.
I would
shit.
never let a child like on my phone playing a game.
That's a good point, dude. You got games?
I have a couple.
I have a couple, dude. I play Stack mainly.
So, if you could like say like if you could critique your earliest work, what would you do?
What do you mean?
I feel like people are like when they start getting into stuff, they're like, "Damn, I did so bad at that. That was awful." Like blah blah blah. Do you think that with like your early works, or you're just like, "I'm A1 quality year"?
Oh no, my shit was solid. Like
That's what I like
my
to
shit
hear.
was like amazing from the beginning.
Hell
I
yeah.
mean,
That confidence is what we like to
Honest,
hear.
That's good. That's good.
no, like I'm honestly one of the best photographers I know. Like period. So
Whoa, that's dope.
I think the only
Very
2
cool.
photographers that I really know are you and Feluso.
yeah. So
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so I want to talk to you about like Instagram posts, because like those are getting like A1 quality nowadays. So do you think like the need for like good photography is like going out the door, or what do you think is going on? Obviously, I think your skill level is needed, but the fact that like people like on their phones can basically have like a full like wide range studio just with all the filters and all the like different abilities and effects that they have. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just like it's so much more available to people. Like what do you think is going to be happening with like all these new social media platforms like updating and becoming so much more
Advanced.
state of the art? Yeah.
I don't even think it's the platform so much. I think it's more so like the technology that has to do with it, because
Right.
as soon as people, they don't have to spend so much money on an actual camera and they can just bust out their iPhone X
Right.
and have a full-on photo shoot, it's like what need is there for photographers?
Right.
But I mean, there's always going to be a demand, and the quality might be more accessible, but I think
it's you can. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
no,
Finish.
but I mean the vision and the creativity and like what a person uniquely brings like when they shoot is more important.
Definitely.
I think it's like mind over matter.
Why
Like,
how so?
I think like the photo is what you're gonna make it. You know, if you put the time in, even if it's not that good of a camera, you can make some good stuff.
Right.
I have an example off my Visco.
Why you posted
I
some
don't
heat
know.
on there?
My
or
Visco,
what?
if y'all want to follow me, is Hamza. It's my name 3 times in a row. hit me up.
Hell yeah.
Like,
But you know what I'm saying though? Like anyone, I feel like can make like a studio level shot.
like, I think that's a good photo. I took it an iPhone 4.
It is.
What do you say as a professional photographer?
How ass is it? Just roast me.
What's that photo like?
It's phone quality good.
So like, what are you looking at? So like, yeah, but this is the thing. You're right, because the skill level is so much different, because you actually look for things that people wouldn't even think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what are the like some of the things that people overlook with photos, you think?
I look for specifically like the energy the picture's bringing. Like the energy it's bringing, the emotion that it's bringing, the colors it's bringing.
Sorry about that, folks. We just had to migrate inside because of the fucking lawnmower out today. But we were just asking Jerusa about what she sees in a photo. Like, how is her vision different than just a random layperson on the street? So Jerusa, if you want to continue to explain that, that'd be dope.
Yeah, no, just like the overall composure of a picture. And I feel like when I look at other photography, it's really, I'm looking for something I haven't seen before. Because like everyone can be a photographer and everyone can shoot a photo, but like what distinctively is like popping out?
Right.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's just like how people like use texture and like color and like the subject, just everything.
So when you see people on Instagram like posting pictures, like, are you like, damn, that's weak? Or like, can you like really tell like when it's a nice picture?
Oh yeah, because I don't follow anyone that I don't care about. So even if you do photography or just like I know you, that doesn't really matter to me anymore. It's just like I want to see like quality content from everyone that I follow. So everyone that I follow, especially as a creative, it's gonna be something that like keeps me going creatively.
That brings something to the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that's who you follow?
Yeah.
Obviously you follow like friends and stuff, but like one of the biggest criteria is to like have it be something that's like important to you and kind of expands upon like your creative process, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a good way to looking at it. I feel like people like, I follow people I don't even know.
Oh,
or like,
of course.
and vice versa, you know? Like, I think that's a problem. Like,
you think so?
Because what that basically is, it's like you're trying to just get as many people as you can. You don't care who's who. You know what I mean? And that's like a big problem. Like,
and
at least
there's nothing wrong with following other people to get more exposure for yourself, but especially with social media, the way that it's going, you have to be so intentional about like how you use it. Like, intention with social media is everything, because it literally is a man-made drug. So
yep.
I'm not gonna follow you because I'm just not gonna follow you.
I think it's weird that people follow, like, you're hot, okay, I'm gonna follow you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Okay.
Well, that's literally like, it's the dopamine hit, you know? You want to get that when you're scrolling through. Not. Exactly. It's crazy. So you said you took a 3-week break from social media.
I did.
So what was your thought process with that? Like,
I did.
What made you, what pushed you over the edge with it that made you get off of it?
So I was on it so much that it was like I was living kind of like day to day. If something were to happen, I kind of want to tweet about it. I kind of want to just like inject my frequency of life into social media, which it really shouldn't be digested online. It should be digested in real life. Right. So I kind of I had to take a step back, not only just for that, but I needed to start focusing on like my career and myself as a person and like figuring out my purpose. So I really had to like step away from all of that, because it was just like trash I was consuming every day.
Did you look at your social media usage like through your iPhone?
Yeah, I get it every Sunday.
Nice, that's good.
I get it every Sunday.
It's good to keep track of it.
And it's increased every week. It increases, and I'm like, oh.
Well, that's tough too, especially if you're a social media manager.
Right.
You know,
right.
So like you have to be kind of up to date on what's going on in that world. Right. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's good that you took a break like for 3 weeks, but I feel like you kind of have to be on that now. You know, And but as a social media manager, so you kind of like have a better understanding of like the processes and like how people get like addicted to social media. Because isn't that kind of, so this is what I'm wondering. So there's all these companies that are saying like social media is bad, like you know, trying to like reduce people's usage, but like isn't the exact point of the company to like get people hooked on it more and more so? Like as a social media manager, isn't that kind of your job, would you say?
It's more so, well, specifically talking from Complex and like what I've learned, it's more so exposure to content and what's going on more so than it is to get people hooked. But part of it is that because we are really consumed by like what other people are doing, and that's such a good market because like it never stops, especially in the media industry. So it keeps going, and we keep pushing out content. There's nothing wrong with that, but like how much content can be consumed that it's so good for you, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's like the culture of FOMO. It's like you're trying to monetize that. And again, like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like that's such a new thing. It's like we don't really know exactly how to handle it at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the spiral of social media is that like, let's say I'm in a bad place, I'm sad, I'm whatever, and then I go on like Instagram. Like no one's gonna post anything bad unless it's a fin stuff, but like you're only gonna post the good times. And you're looking at someone else like, oh wow, their life must be awesome.
Yep.
I'm fucking a loser. Look at me. Like I can't do this, and that.
Right.
And that kind of brings you like that's why people like Kanye is like get rid of followers because people base their value as a person on the number of people who follow him. You know.
For sure.
Or who they're following, or who it is they're following, who follows them back, all that kind of stuff. And like that's what I like about Visco. Like yeah, you have followers really, but not like.
It doesn't. Visco is a good platform because it doesn't mostly like show.
It
you
doesn't
have
show
this many followers.
It doesn't show that at all.
Many likes. It's literally just for the content.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's not dictated by those numbers as much so as something like Instagram or Twitter would be. I'd say.
I watched this video. It was this right wing guy trying to like prove his point, and his backing for his position and why it's valid is because he talked about like his number of Twitter followers, his percent exposure, and like all that. Like okay, like
it's not good.
I could have 500,000 followers and be dumb as hell. Like, does my opinion matter then? Like, maybe to someone other person, but I don't think it's any more invalid or valid than anyone else's.
Well, the problem with that is that like the value system that we have in place in our culture is like, yes, your opinion does matter because you have those many followers, but in reality, like that's not the case. You know.
That's why, like, for me in my social media use, like, I'm not gonna have a Finsta because like if I'm gonna post something, I post on my actual like.
Yeah, the Rinsta.
Yeah, like if I wouldn't post it on my actual, I wouldn't post it. But then again, I posted dumbass shit. Like, I have a photo of a monkey giving birth on my Instagram.
Hell yeah,
you know,
that's clean.
And I think that's like that. I feel like that's that point where you can be okay with like having a bad ratio or having this because people care about. There's an app you can get where it tells you, it notifies you when someone unfollows you.
Yep, I've heard of that as well.
There's
so many. I know he has an app where if it happens, it automatically unfollows, refollows, likes 3 photos, unfollows, refollows.
Oh my god.
Like
that's so fucked, bro.
Like why do you care?
It's crazy. Well, and the thing that's weird is like because we're stuck kind of in that mindset nowadays, like business revolves around that. So it's like when we're trying to do like our social media for the podcast, social media manager.
I'm social media manager, by the way.
Hit him up, intern. He's the next complex intern.
Podcast on Instagram. It's a number 7.
Exactly. But the thing is, bro, it's like when you're looking at it, you're like, you care about the ratio. You care about like how many likes you're getting. The whole thing is like viewing how many people are viewing your profile.
If it's your job, yeah, that makes sense. Not if you're some random ass person.
But isn't it just the fact that like that is kind of like the mindset nowadays that's the detriment because we care so much about all that shit? Or is it valid if a corporation's doing it?
I think it's understandable if a corporation's doing it because they need to have exposure for their platform.
Because it's like next level marketing.
Exactly, it's more marketing. It helps your business.
Right.
But if it's like I'm some person, like some guy with X amount of followers, and I care, like I'm gonna post, like why? You know, like all of it benefits for me is that people like that I look cool. Like, okay.
Well, but then to push back on that, I feel like the line nowadays between person as a social media person on social media versus like a corporation, that line is blurred nowadays. You have like
personalities.
You have Kim Kardashian, bro. You have you know.
But as a corporation, she is a corporation. Like, she has all of her
exactly.
shit that she's promoting.
A person is, bro. So it's like that whole mindset.
That's a poor example because she is like actually making money off of her image.
Yeah, exactly. But Kylie Jenner, same thing.
Same thing, and that's understandable.
But so the line between. But the thing is, if young people see that and they go
want to start doing that to make.
They're trying to like be on that level. So I think it's like exactly what we go back to, where it's like caring about followers, caring about likes is like such a detriment to young people. And I think like, because there's been statistics, I don't know exactly, but there's this dude who wrote a book about young women and social media, and when social media was introduced, and it's not just for young women, but levels of like suicide and anxiety and like all these mental health things like skyrocketed when social media was implemented, especially for like young teenage girls. So it's like that shit's a big deal, bro, and it's just because of like people like Kylie Jenner, Kim K.
Let's get the social media interns' take on this.
No, I mean, social media is like, it has its pros and cons, like, and they're pretty extreme, but I don't think we should put so much the blame on the higher ups like Kim K or the Kardashians or whoever they use it, because like they're using it because it's a business, right?
Right.
And if people kind of want to like replicate that, it's just because like they know what they're doing. They know what the consequences are when they start doing what they're doing, because people copy other people, right?
Yep.
And it's just like, it is what it is.
But don't you think it's kind of a bad thing to place those values upon like younger people? Because I think
because like we're literally programming people to do, like, we're programmed at such a young age, and now it's like that programming starts like when we're 5, like 5-year-olds get smartphones, and like that's how they're programmed.
Exactly.
When do you think a child should be exposed to social media then?
Bro, like
allow them
probably 15 years 15? Old. Yeah. You need to wait for a long time, dude, because I agree with you that like it is an important thing to recognize and to have as like a space. Like, it's next level marketing. It's like another way to reach people, which can be a bad thing, but in many ways it's a good thing. I think that the problem that you run into is when you have people who are too young that they can't recognize, like you did, that, I need to take a break. You know what I mean? Like, it's consuming me. Like, I'm addicted to this shit, which everyone gets into. But if you're young enough, sometimes you can't even realize that. You don't even recognize that that's a thing, and it consumes you. So I think just like the later you wait, the better.
On kids. A side note that's similar to that, there's this movement called Wait Till 8th that someone retweeted on Twitter.
A movie?
A movement. Where you don't give your child a smartphone until they're in 8th grade, because if they're not in 8th grade and you give them the smartphone, they're gonna look at porn. That's the movement. So wait till 8th.
Wait till 8th, bro. I agree with that. Shit. I'll go for that. 8th grade. That was probably around the age.
I didn't get a smartphone. I didn't get a phone until my freshman year of high school, and I didn't get a smartphone until my junior year of high school.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was on that flip. I had a plug phone.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah. I had that little like you turn to the side.
One
of those Verizon like kick up phones. That was tight.
I didn't have a phone till freshman year of high school. And it was like a sidekick thing. I couldn't even go on the internet. And then I got a Samsung, like I think my sophomore year or junior year. And I was like, this is the dopest shit. Like, I can listen to music now. I can do this. And even then, I didn't even want to go on Instagram. I was like, what is this app? Like, that's when it started. And I was like, I don't really care about posting shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I got Instagram until like my junior year of high school, maybe. Yeah, I had a Twitter since I was in 8th grade, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never had Twitter.
Until senior year.
2011 Twitter was something different, bro. They did not care about anyone.
Yeah, no one gave a fuck. That's crazy. Dude, that's wild. So, I guess speaking on, like, culture and, like, where we think this thing's going, I don't know, man. I think, like, because I was at a movie the other day, and we were watching all the trailers, and I've seen this a couple times in other pop culture elements, but I think it's kind of turning back towards, like, more of a retro feel in visual art and, like, with movies and all this stuff, and even photography, I'm sure.
Like
I think it's becoming
and stuff.
It's becoming more, yeah, exactly. So there's this movie, I forgot what it was called. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out, but it was basically, it's so funny. It's like the most Will Smith movie you've ever heard of. It's basically young Will Smith versus old Will Smith. That's the concept of the movie, and it's basically like a super, cliche classic action movie, but it was shot in such a way that it looked like some of the old Matrix movies or something like that. Like it was very, it was high def, but like it just felt like very similar to those like early 2000s movies or 2000s, you know what I mean? And it's like that was so different, and it was just like a callback to that. And so that's what we're saying. That's what I say when I say like I think it's moving towards kind of more like a retro feel, you know what I mean? Because I think what it does is it's actually tapping into like the nostalgia center of your brain, and even if you don't realize it, you're like, oh, I saw this movie and I really fucked with it, but like subconsciously you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see this movie because like the way it's even shot, because like we pick up on all that different stuff so
all the time,
all the minute little details, you know what I mean? Especially including this new album by Daniel Caesar. It's called Case Study 01. And
I was just listening to that.
And then it's really good. And in the album cover, it's like there's like some weird trails. Like it looks like a VHS type thing. You see what I'm saying? Like there's like a little blur. I don't know. To me, it kind of, there's like a gradient to it. Like it's kind of more like a 90s, like early 2000 type feel. And the reason that he does that is because he's trying to cater towards that mindset of people where it's like you fuck with all the old like VHS stuff. Like that's what we were on when we were kids. So am I crazy here? Like, what do you guys think? Do you agree with me that it kind of will be going towards that kind of feel, or what?
Yeah, LMI, is it? LMA?
LMA, yeah.
I feel like her music especially is like, it reminds me of like 2002. Like Boot Up.
Okay.
Oh, never get over you.
That pop type of vibe,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, in music and pop, I think it's starting to like, go back to it. And if it's like a thing with technology, like remember how the cloud was like super big our freshman, like when we were kids, like, oh, everything's on the cloud.
The cloud, yeah.
That like wasn't a new thing. Like before that, it was have all your data on you, like so you know it's gonna be safe. And then before that, the cloud's already a thing. Like, oh yeah, the cloud's new. Look at this, you know. Like they're like all these. It's like an ebb and flow kind of thing in my head with some of this stuff.
Right. The cloud is scary, bro. Because that's how everyone's getting their shit hacked.
Oh, God.
You know? Like the new Bella Thorne stuff, her shit got hacked from the cloud. Did you hear about that?
She tweeted a photo of her conversation with Zendaya. Did y'all see that?
This dude loves Zendaya, by the way.
Who doesn't?
He like Zendaya. He thinks he has a shot with her.
Yeah, put that out in the universe. It's gonna happen.
I did already.
It's gonna manifest itself.
It's gonna happen.
So Zendaya was just like, "Hey, I love you so much. You know, I'm here for you. Like this, blah 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 blah." And then she replied with, "Did you see them or nah?"
I didn't. I actually didn't.
No, that's what Bella Thorne replied like to Zendaya. It's like, "Oh, have you seen them yet?"
Oh, really?
I thought it was funny as hell.
That's crazy. But that's a good way of doing it, bro. You gotta fucking get out in front of it. So for people who don't know, Bella Thorne's nudes, she was gonna get blackmailed by this dude who hacked her nudes from her. And she just ended up posting them herself on her Twitter. And she was like, I'm going to get out in front of this, like all this shit. People think it was actually kind of a marketing thing, though. Because her book came out like a week before that or something like that. So, regardless of if it was, it's still a pretty brave thing. You know what I mean?
Were they actually like nudes? No?
I think they were just like topless photos. But like they were like...
She's fine.
Exactly. I agree with that, yeah. I think she'll be okay. But like, it's pretty wild. All these Disney stars... They're scandalous now. Thank you. So yeah, man. I don't know. I just think it's crazy like that. It's moving towards that. I'm gonna find that movie, by the way. But.
So what advice would you have for like aspiring photographers? Like, oh, I just bought my first like Kodak.
Oh no! One thing I really wanted to talk about is, I mean, even this was probably like the beginning of the podcast, was how I didn't use any part of my degree when I got hired, or even like going into this industry.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, like whatsoever.
Keep talking.
Just because they don't look for that. They look for experience. They look for skills. They look for more so confidence in what you're actually doing. And as long as you like walk in there with ideas ready to like manifest and create and like change whatever you're trying to do with your energy, they really don't care, right? So I mean,
I feel.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think confidence is like the key to everything. Like absolutely everything.
Right.
Like I could be ugly as hell and go up to someone who's like really pretty, and I'm just confident enough, like shit, then I'd have, you know, like I think confidence is probably one of the most and like the attitude.
You're confident?
I'm not confident.
Nah, bro. You got a little drip. You got a little style. I feel you, bro. I see what you're doing. You weren't, bro. You're not even buttoned up today, huh?
Yeah. Oh shit, it came off.
You got the chest hair showing. You clean though.
But
yeah, I feel you. So you were talking about your degree and everything, using it. Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
Not using it.
Not using it.
So would you say college was worth it for you then?
Yeah, for like the experiences and like the lessons and like what I became after college.
Yeah.
I think college, like period, in this country, like you should go, but by the right means, like if you can pay for it, not have any like minimize your debt and like know what you're doing and what you're getting out of college, and if you don't need it, then don't go, you know.
Right.
If you genuinely like don't need it, then don't go, because debt is not.
It's no joke.
It's not it.
It's not something to fuck around with.
It's really not it.
I think we talked about this in a previous episode. I agree. I think it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
In multiple dimensions.
I agree. The thing where you run into problems if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a solid plan to execute something, or you have an idea of like what you want to get into, you want to do an apprenticeship, you want to go to trade school, something like that. I think you really have to have like a solid base or a solid substitute, because for a lot of people, like college is your move, you know? And if you don't have that, like you have nothing. So I think people need to just make sure that they have some sort of level of a substitute to take care of. But I find college very valuable so far.
I think it helps. Like I think one of the more important aspects of college is just the social aspect. And being more exposed to different kinds of people, different kinds of cultures, different kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
Because, like, think about people who grow up in a bubble. Like, you know how we can all assume, like, we can understand how someone who grew up in a bubble will turn out. Like, ignorant to any kind of open ideas, super close-minded. I feel like part of college is to help you, like, broaden your horizons in a way.
Right.
Know?
The thing is, though, couldn't you have that argument for, like, a frat, though? You could be like, oh, you're exposing yourself to, like...
I mean, you are.
All these different dudes, these social situations. But it's like, I think we can all agree that, like... frats aren't necessarily worth it all the time just because you have friends.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
The most important aspect of a frat is networking. I actually have a story about someone I know. One of my coworkers is in a frat, Sig something, and apparently the creator of Venmo is in that frat too.
Yeah, you told us.
Yeah, and then his friend met him and got an internship through him. So like, there's a lot of important like frats. Like I don't like frats. That's just like a me thing. But yeah, you're exposing yourself to. Then you can learn that. Oh yeah, I like being a fuckboy or. I don't like being a fuckboy. Not that all frat guys are a fuckboy. I know some cool ones, but generally.
Yeah. What's your take on, like, frats and sororities, Drusha?
You ever gone to a frat party before?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I could never get in.
I think I just walked it. I think it was, like, my freshman year. It was, like a foam party.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, they did at the gay 90s.
Yeah, it was a foam party. It was kind of dead. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was weird. But, I mean, I've gone to, like, Black fraternity and sorority parties, and they're pretty lit.
That's lit, yeah.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Not in Minnesota, but once. Anyways, but I would have to say I personally don't like group thought or group thinking or group ideology.
It's like hive minds.
And there's nothing like wrong with wanting to progress yourself with their ideologies to like get to that higher level, to get that higher frequency, but when it comes with all the other factors of like the group thought and like move and the way they move, I don't like that, because I'm a person who I like freedom. I like doing what I want to do.
Right. You got to maintain that certain level of independence.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to like it's hard to maintain that when you're paying to be in like this very tight-knit group.
Yeah.
I agree with that for sure.
And a lot of it is like you're bound to that kind of like title of like being to that whatever they stand for, which is totally fine.
Right.
But like I don't want to be bound to just like the black, I don't know, world or whatever. I kind of want to just like represent all of humanity. I want to like move all of humanity versus
Instead of being in that one culture.
Just one culture,
Right.
because it's not just us. It's literally everyone else. Like maybe we can do that in 100 years. People can do their own shit, but like we gotta
more
move.
Exposure and acceptance of one another.
We really gotta move like with humanity versus like it's all for one for all. Like
this reminds me. Oh, keep going.
No, but I'm just saying like people don't have the higher thought. Like people kind of want to do whatever they want to do, which is totally fine. But the way the world is moving right now,
Yep.
that's just not the best option.
Yep. Can I?
Yeah.
Will you remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Because I want to just circle back to what I was talking about at the beginning with this. You know, he might not be a legit sociopath dude, but what my friend was saying, who had some sort of relation with him, he said that this dude he has so much mental health stuff, like he has such a poor like worldview that like his only defense mechanism is to categorize people and to put them into groups and to have like his own set idea about them, because it's a simplicity, it's a rational thing, it's a rationale thing. So it's like, but I totally agree with you. When you get into like categorizing people, when you get to lumping people into these groups, it's like maybe it's comfortable, but it's not at all the correct way that you need to be thinking. Right. So I totally agree with that for sure.
Bro, I mean, like, end of the day, like, race itself is a social construct. Like, it was created as a way to categorize people.
Yep.
It's in a way where ultimately you can justify that you're better than someone aside from color. Like, oh, we could both be, you know, like, you're Kenyan, I'm Somali. There could be a hierarchy between there, you know. It's people's way, because it's like the thing, like, you want to feel good about yourself, which is why you're going to rationalize something in a way that makes you feel better than another person. Yeah. But going back to what you said about, like, how it has to be a humanity thing, that reminds me of an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You remember when Will and Carlton are, like rushing that frat? Yeah. And then Will gets in, but Carlton doesn't. Yeah. And that's because, like, the guy's like, yeah, you know, he doesn't really embody him. Look at him. He has, like, he's a sellout. You know, he's like an Uncle Tom Coon or something like that. And then Carlton's like, yeah, you want us to stick together. You understand what that means. Like, if you're trying to make us stick together, like, what's wrong with me? You know, just because I dress a certain way or, like, certain kind of, like, you know, like, you're closed-minded. Like, oh, you're not. Same thing, like, being well, not, like, how people talk, you know? Like, I get called white as hell because of the way I talk, you know? Yeah. Like, and, like, I feel like that's, like, a way for us to pit each other again. Like, I think it's not even, it stems from, like, an outside thing, but, like, it's kind of set so we're against one another, so we're not together, you know? Yeah. That's just me, though.
Well, that's definitely an argument. Like, people are trying to keep us, like, people are trying to keep the lower, people who aren't, like, the elites or whatever, they're trying to keep them, like, finding all these things, all these issues between each other, when in reality it's, like, very, very similar. And the only way that you can do that is or the only way that you, like, combat that is if we were all to join together, we would be able to take over anything. Like, you know what I mean? The people who aren't in power. Yeah. That's the thing.
You get shit for eating healthy.
Yeah. Like, which is crazy.
Okay.
I mean, especially in the Midwest. That's kind of a Midwest thing, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, like, we're just, like, when it's cold as fuck.
I make fun of people who eat quinoa. I'm not going to lie.
I guess that's a whole nother thing.
But, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Do you view, like, your photography and all your work as a way to, like, kind of, like, bring people, like, together? Or, like, is there some kind of, like, message
now more so when I'm talking to people, it's like people are really moved by, like, the pictures that I post. Like, the last photo that I posted of TJ, Don't Let It Consume You, like that.
Like the red and
with the red.
That
yeah,
shit was so cool. Eyes. Shout out TJ once again.
Like, and like the way I was able to embody, like, the tones and, like, his face and, like, having the eyes and all of that, and just, like, with the caption, like, that's what I was feeling. And, like, I got texts, one of my, like, best friends, Micah, she sent me a video of, like, a 2-minute video of like how cold it was and like how it was so crazy I could like embody a feeling into a picture. And it's like I didn't realize like the power of photography, like how much it can invoke feelings and move people.
Right.
So now I'm really realizing that and the power that I have. So
there's a lot of power to it.
Some really cool. Hey man, I really recommend people check out that photo. Is cold as fuck. You want to plug the social medias on real quick? It's on your website, is it?
It's on my website. It's on my
Instagram.
Yeah.
It's on like shout out TJ. Like it's not only a good photographer because she did amazing work. They're the ones who make the vision, but it's also a good model. Like I fuck with TJ. We go way back. Like shout out TJ for that.
Yeah.
But
we'll link all that in the description as well. Just so you know.
Isn't it cool? Like you can bring in people with super different ideas about stuff, and they're like, oh wow, like that's pretty cool. Like you can't deny it how like sick that was. Like
no, for sure. And that's the thing, like when we talk about like all these differences between everyone, like everyone can agree like, oh, this piece of art is like super dope. So I mean, it really just like continues to solidify the idea that we're really all pretty similar.
Yeah, like I mean, art's a form of expression. And at the end of the day, a form of expression is a way to bring
honestly like just art in general. When I like produce something, it's my way of like breaking free from like society to really just like do my own shit.
Yeah.
So
and that's the goal, right? You want to be able to do whatever you truly feel like should be done, and then make a living off it, or be able to support yourself and others through that.
I'm not a photographer, obviously. I mean, I got that dope ass photo off me. Check out my Visco, Hamza. It's my name 3 times.
You got a monkey giving birth, so clearly.
That's my Instagram. It's Hammy.time. Follow me, social media manager. What's up? But I feel like photography is one of those forms of art where it's a lot better at bringing people together. You know, because music is like you have to like this kind of like. I would say there's some artists who transcend that, like Michael Jackson, Prince, the Beatles. Like there are artists who like address a super large audience, but like outside of that, I think it's pretty tough because like if it's painting and art like that, people are gonna critique like the style. Like oh, this person's like Picasso. No, he made no money. Van Gogh made no money until after the fact. Like, oh yeah, he maybe did some shit.
Right.
And I feel like photography itself is that it captures a living moment in the best way possible. That's at least how I view it.
It's literally capturing energy like in that moment.
Right.
Yep. And
it's
I think
worth 1,000 words.
Literally.
That in itself makes it a lot more applicable to multiple audiences. Because it's not like, I mean, unless you're forming a message with it, but like objectively, like it's life. Objectively, it's something that anyone can relate to.
Right.
Like,
I think it's something that's truly out there.
Yeah.
Because it's something had to be done in the real world for that to actually be captured.
And I think like there's a select type of photos and stuff that won't really apply to, like something that's politically charged, something like that, right? But like at least to me, like ultimately, it's like the best way for you to kind of reach someone. Because like I said, it's worth 1,000 words. Right. That one photo can say a lot. And I think a nice thing about photography and multiple forms of art is how many subjective views you can derive from that. Like I think it's cool that I can look at we talked about this too, like how people like not off the air about how people rationalize, like if we both see some event, we both take away something different, like a car crash. You'd be like, oh, that's fucked up. I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I think that applies to photography because it's capturing the car crash. Like you can look at that and you can have like, oh wow, like this to me means this and that, because it's not just like, I mean the artist does have their message, but after the fact, I feel like it's it's a tree, like that's the trunk of the tree, and then
it expands from there. Yeah, man, for sure. I agree with that, dude. It truly transcends everything. But yeah, no, I mean, it's crazy that you bring up like just like these huge music people as well, because I saw the movie yesterday, like 2 days ago, and it's the one where it's in the future and everyone forgets who the Beatles are, and this dude like he starts like playing Beatles music and everyone's like, oh fuck, like this is crazy, like you're so cold, like you're a genius and all this, and the whole time he's like grappling with the fact that he like is copywriting all this stuff and everything. And man, I mean, I've just been thinking about powerhouses like the Beatles before, because they are just recently, and they literally were the first to like they were the first to do so many things. They were the first to go on like worldwide tours. They were the first to have like music videos, like putting music to like movies. You know, they had like Help.
Yeah,
they
They
had
made
like
a movie.
they had like all these movies where they played their music in the background. Like
Yeah.
they were they were all geniuses, dude.
Mhm.
Like it's crazy. And that movie's really good. Yesterday, I recommend.
If you're
people
actually
check it
interested
out.
in that kind of stuff, I recommend taking History of Rock and Roll. We do talk about that. You talk about it a little bit in the class. Shout out Professor J. Like, he's a cool guy. He's super, what's the word? Where someone's like patient. He's really patient. He was really patient with me, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, they talk about that. They talk about like the very last essay you have to write. It's like the last week of classes. Will music last? And it's not like, and it's like, well, like these, like who do you think 100 years from now is gonna still persist?
Right.
And I was like, I think Kanye would. I think Drake would, because I think they're too big of personalities for them not to.
But I feel like Kanye, I agree with that. I think the way that he's going now,
I think he will be remembered. Like the artist Kanye will be remembered,
yeah,
regardless of what he does. Like him as an artist will be remembered. You could be all bad shit, insane.
yeah.
No offense to Kanye. I know he has some shit going on. Shout out Kanye. But you know, I think
Yeah, it's true. I think, but I just think with Kanye, like, is there a point where he's trying too hard? Like,
What do you mean?
like, one of his Yeezy shoes is literally like a $10 water shoe that you can buy from like Target. I just feel like he's trying to. I don't know.
Pull it up for me.
So let me put
Give me my
some
phone
like
then.
facts onto this
Can you?
conversation. So I was
Yeah, please.
I was watching the Netflix series of David Letterman, and he was
Okay.
doing the Kanye West interview. I don't know if you
Mhm.
guys saw that, but they were in his house and they were dressing up David Letterman, and Kanye was talking about how his clothes are kind of the embodiment or just the replica of Hermes back in like the 60s, and he's just like twisting it and making it his own.
Oh wow!
That's
Okay, I
that's
didn't know
basically
that.
what he's going off of. So it's not anything new. It's just like he's doing what he likes. He's
Right.
putting it out there, and people are buying it.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing. People are buying it. Like,
Mhm.
and like you can't. The thing is, you can't hate on him at all because like people really are fucking with him, and he's one of the biggest names right now. But I'm just saying, like, to some people, it might seem that his shit's like completely out there and will be irrelevant in like 2 years. You know what I mean?
I don't think it will.
Bro, his sandals look so, you know, like those slides, they look so comfortable.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
look so,
It's like
they're
Dude,
what,
a lot of the
$400?
I love a lot of the Yeezys. I really do.
I mean, people were saying like 2016. I mean, people when he was having his mental breakdown in the hospital.
Oh wait.
You know, yeah, like people were like, no, he's not gonna last. He's not gonna be an artist. He's not gonna be whatever. And
Right.
he's like,
And then he came back and said it's a superpower.
but I'm still here.
But he's
Yeah.
still relevant, right?
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, even as an artist myself, a lot of the times when I take breaks from social media or like I don't post content or people are like, what's going on with photography? Like, what are you working on? Whoop de whoop whoop. It's like I don't feel pressure because it's like it's not contingent on anything else. It's
Yeah.
more contingent on what I want to do.
Mhm.
So quite frankly, if I take a break and I'm not on social media for a year and then I start like posting like solid content, like it's amazing, like no one's ever seen it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long I've been gone because you'll still love it.
Mhm.
And even if you don't, it doesn't matter because it's the greatest picture
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about my work. Like,
There you go.
It's already the best.
it's already the best. Like, I put out the best content. No one's
Hell
doing
yeah.
what
Yo.
I'm fucking doing.
Right.
On the
right.
topic of your
I fuck with
content,
that.
you know, my favorite like photos that you have was that
Mhm.
nigga with like the
Charles,
That
when he
shit
was
was
in the
so
when he was
sick.
on the highway.
Yep,
Yeah.
with the flowers and
Yeah.
like, yeah, that was super. I mean, I liked all of yours, but that was I
Yeah.
was like, damn, like that and TJ, I was like, damn, that's what's up. Like,
Yeah.
What was the one? The dude with like the chains and he like had the chain.
That's
like, in
TJ.
his- That was TJ.
that's TJ, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but
But, like,
that one I really liked as well. So.
Back to like the confidence, you know, and on top of Kanye, he did Def Poetry Jam. You know, if you look it up, it's bittersweet poetry. And this little beginning thing, he's like, I'm high as a motherfucker, fly as a motherfucker. I'm still a motherfucker you love to hate, but can't because you love what I make. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk shit to Amrad. Like
yeah.
True.
you can't hate. You know, like if you like this shit, like if people like this shit, you can't talk shit. You know,
Right. 100%.
with some exceptions, I'll add. It's always some exceptions to that, but
yeah.
like end of the end of the day, it's confidence. Like you have to be confident in what you're doing. Like you have to be
Yeah.
able to walk tall. Like you know what, I'm doing what I love. I'm doing the best, and I know what I'm doing is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But you can't let that like become
cloud
your
you.
ego.
Yeah, you have to be humble. Like we're all remaining humble, because if you're not humble, someone's gonna make humble you for you. You know, and
Life
no one
is
wants
gonna
that.
humble you.
Yeah,
Oh my
but like.
God.
Right.
You're able to walk tall and be like, I know what I'm doing right now is the best. I'm being the best I can be, because ultimately that's what you want in life, you know, be able to be the best you can be.
That's beautiful. And with that, Jerusa, any last final words you have for the people?
Shout yourself out.
Any last message? Any shout outs? Any plug your socials one more time?
Oh,
For
I mean,
sure.
last words of wisdom
Mhm.
is everything that you feel in the moment right now, like present time, like you can manifest, and you have like the most creative power right now in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and you can jump into the future, and like you want to manifest, like I want to do this, bring it back and do it. Like that's the power that we have. Yeah, that's all I have to say. My Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, it's my name. They'll probably have it in the
Can you
in the
access it from your
comments.
website or no?
You can access it from my website.
All right, bet.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Dope.
You know, shout out to Jerusa. Thanks for being an awesome guest. You know, talking about some real stuff.
Thanks for coming on.
Awesome photographer, really,
Thank you.
really.
For real.
But yeah, you
Hit
know,
her up, people.
Thanks for tuning in. 17 Podcast. I'm your host, Hamza.
I've been Clark, and make sure to check out Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify. Follow us on social media. SoundCloud. Please also follow us on our
Instagram. 7th Street Podcast, at 7th Street Podcast. It's the numeral 7, not the word. And then be sure to hit us up on Gmail. It's 7th Street Podcast at gmail.com. You spell out 7th.
That's
if you have
correct.
any questions, comments, you want to be on guest or anything like that, like we love the feedback. We really appreciate the feedback. It helps us be the best we can be.
Give us a like, give us a comment, tell your friends, and
Don't forget to comment below. Yeah.
other than that, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.